Welcome to the Build with Boundaries podcast. My name is Manaz, and this podcast is for mums who want to carve out time so that you can work in ways that work for you, your life, your family, and of course your business. Together, we will discover why you are not prioritizing your business and the actions that you can take so you can live an intentional, productive, and fulfilled life without mum guilt. So let's dive in to today's episode. Welcome to Build with Boundaries podcast, this guest session with Katie Spreadbury. Katie helps service-based businesses attract and work with more of their absolute dream clients without sacrificing their integrity or selling their soul through using her 19 plus years experience in market research and marketing. She'll help you understand your ideal client better than they understand themselves. Then use this information to create offers and content that jump off the page and bring them into your world. So let's get started with this episode and welcome Katie. Hi Katie, good morning and welcome to Build with Boundaries podcast. I'm so excited to have you on here and we have such a juicy conversation planned. So let's get stuck in. Please do say hello and tell the listeners who you help.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on, Manaz. I'm very excited to be here. So yes, I'm Katie Spreadbury. My business is called Orange Sheep Research and I help small online businesses, mostly service-based businesses, create offers and content that really attract the right people into your business, the right people being your ideal clients, the people you want to work with most, the people that are going to get most from your services, by helping you really understand them, get under their skin, understand deeply what's going on for them so you can create offers and content that really resonate and meet what they need.
That's amazing. Such a foundation, isn't it, for every single business? You need to know who you're helping and you're helping people understand that. So a really valuable service.
That is, it really underpins everything.
It does, it does. So tell me about how you discovered your purpose, and this is obviously the niche that you've created for yourself, but like how did you come across that? Was this purpose falling out to you in some way?
Yeah, well, before I started my business, I'd already had a career in market research. So I was working with big agencies, helping businesses understand their customers and, sort of customer satisfaction and feedback and getting responses to things, understanding what was going on for them. And when I had my children, it's the classic tale, I had my children, I didn't want to go back to employment. And I was thinking, oh, what can I do for my own business? And I had been thinking along the lines of something supplementary to that. So the sort of services we used to outsource from those agencies, I was thinking maybe I could do some of that. But I went to a business startup session. It was like a taster session that the council had funded. And I thought, oh, I might as well go along to that and see what it's like. And the room was just full of all these passionate, amazing people with these great ideas. But I could hear from like the questions they were asking and the way they were talking about the businesses they wanted to set up, that it suddenly dawned on me that what I knew from my market research career like wasn't common knowledge. I didn't know that before. It wasn't common knowledge. It wasn't something that people necessarily considered. And I sat there and thought, oh my goodness, like what I know and what I already do can help every single person in this room. And I really, really love like the sort of the entrepreneur spirit, the small business, the people that like don't just sit back and let life happen to them. They go out and make things happen. I really resonate with that sort of person. And I find it so inspiring. And I thought, this is brilliant. I can actually help these people with what I already know. So yeah, that's when I decided to set up helping businesses understand their clients and customers to basically serve them better and become more successful in business.
Yeah. That's so true though, because that's such a stumbling block for so many businesses. It doesn't even matter what stage they're at. Sometimes people are further on in their journey, but they really didn't actually nail their ideal client in terms of understanding them to the depth that you obviously help them with. That must have been a really good moment to go in there. And like, I love how you said that you almost saw there was this need for something and you could fit that perfectly. I mean, that's like a fantastic story, because if only every single one of us could do that, that would be amazing, right?
Yeah, it was quite literally like, I'm surprised like a cartoon light bulb didn't appear over my head. It was a proper like dawning realization. But yeah, and that was, gosh, nearly 7 years ago now. So yeah, it's been an exciting time.
Yeah. So tell me then, you obviously had that kind of thought process going on, and how did you think that what skills you had developed through your market research career, how would that fit nicely into being able to serve others and help them with finding their ideal client?
Yeah, well, what I've seen as I've sort of been through the process of building my business and working with people and working with business coaches myself, so often, like, everyone talks about ideal client, which is brilliant, but it's in the sense of, here's a worksheet, an ideal client avatar, go and fill that in, and then just go and write all your content for them or whatever. And it's kind of like people are expected to already know this stuff to be able to like pluck it out of thin air or get it from inside their own heads.
Yeah.
And even if I strongly believe that even if your ideal client is a past version of yourself, you haven't got that in your head, because even if it's a past version of yourself, you're looking back at what it was like through the lens of your new experience and knowledge and
Yes.
like all that hindsight that's on it. It's very hard to put yourself back into their shoes and what it was like at the time. So I think it's so important to be able to go out there and get that information from people. But unfortunately, the way the human mind works, it is not as simple as saying, tell me what you want from me, tell me what's going on for you. That you've got to ask the questions in the right way to tease out the information you want. There's a very famous quote, it's attributed to Henry Ford. I don't think it was actually him that said it in the end, but it's, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, and then of course the
Yeah.
car would have never been invented, or the Model T car would never have been
Mm.
invented. And that was like the first mass market massive successful vehicle that there was. So it like, that quote implies that research holds things back because people don't know what they want. But actually, if you'd done the research properly and said what's important to you when you're like trying to get from A to B and things like that, things that came up, such as like speed and the fact of having to look after horses and things like that, would have come out, which would have led to the car. So it's about asking the questions in the right way and interpreting the information yourself. And that's the sort of skills that I'm bringing from my career and helping people implement in their own businesses.
Wow, that's amazing. That sounds like it's just such a perfect fit for what you've already done, and you know how to ask the questions and maybe even like the order to ask them in, because slight tweaks
Yeah,
can make a big difference, can't they? Our human brain
that's
is a bit
important too.
crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. It's very easy to, especially if you go in and say, I'm thinking of building this program, what do you think of it? You're going to get very different answers than if you're very open and like what's finding out what their problems are and what they've tried before and things like that. Might come up with a completely different program at the end of it, because generally people are lovely and they say what they think you want to hear. So you have to be very careful, because that might not be the truth. That might not actually be where people are going to actually put their money, which is ultimately what you need them to do at the end of the day. So yeah, it's important to ask things in the right order and in the right way.
Yeah. So what advice could you give for anybody who's listening and they're trying to, as best as they can, like you said, it's such a difficult place to try and place yourself, because you can't unlearn all the learnings you've had and you're a different person now,
Yeah,
and it's very, very difficult. I think everybody does find it difficult. Like you said, there's this typical avatar that you want to complete, which is thrown around online, but it's not very helpful in the end. So tell me, like, what's different there, and what's your perspective on that in terms of helping somebody who is just feeling stuck and not understanding what this means? Why do they need to know about
yeah,
who this
yeah.
person is?
No, it's a great question, because it's very easy to feel like you should know these things, and that if you don't, it's like somehow failing on you, but it's really, really not. And so my advice to people would be to do a bit of research, essentially, a bit of going out there and finding out what's going on for your people. So like, it's really, really important to go into it with a completely open mind. So clear any preconceptions you have about your ideal clients, about the people you want to serve, and go in with an open mind and ask the sort of open questions that are going to help steer you to where you want to be. So the advice I would give is to do this from as early as you can, because I mean, I like had this moment of realization, oh my gosh, everyone needs what I've got.
Mm-hmm.
And I went out there going, right, everyone, I can do any market research for you that you like, any surveys you want done, whatever, just come to me. And I thought people would be wetting themselves over the chance of this, because there's not many people
Yeah.
out there serving this market with what I do. And everyone just went, yeah, and so
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so I had to take my own advice and go out and speak to people and find out
Yes.
like what they weren't getting from what was already out there and what they'd already done, that I could fill the gaps and help with. And that led to me sort of shifting my messaging completely. So I don't go out there saying, do you want some help with your market research anymore? I say, look, is your content not landing? Are your offers not selling as well as you thought they were going to? You've got the expertise, but you're struggling to show people why that's going to help them, because that's the real thing that people are dealing with. And then from that, show them how what I do can sort of fill those gaps and help them take things to the next level. So yeah, my advice would be to just open your mind, go out there, find out what's really going on for people, what they're thinking about, not what you think they're thinking about, not what you think they should be thinking about, but what they are thinking about, and then work out how what you do fits into that and how you can serve them to get closer to that goal that they want to hit.
Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, totally. It's so hard. And I think just understanding that you don't need to know it all and you can work your way, because it's an evolution, isn't it, as well? Like whatever we think we know now will change in a week and in 2 weeks and
yes
ongoing. It's like
it
this
really
project.
will. It really will. It's if you just look at how much the world's changed I was going to say in the last few years with the pandemic and all of that, but even like the last few months with like OpenAI coming onto the scene, ChatGPT, how much that has changed so many people's the way they do business and what they what they are doing, and the implications that's going to have on our life is just mind-boggling. So yeah, things are changing all the time, and it's important to keep in touch with people and know what's going on for them in the moment. Or you'll have that initial success and then you keep plugging the same message and everyone else has moved on, and the sales will fall off again.
That's right, yeah. So why would it be helpful then to nail this ideal client and understand them better? What would it do for people to do that work?
The main thing is that it just makes everything a lot easier. So like if you're trying to talk to everyone, if you're putting out messages saying, well, like I was in the beginning, hey, have you got a business? I can do some market research for you. If you're trying to do that, then no one really sees why it's relevant for them or why they should care. It's very easy for them to look at it and go, oh, but you're probably talking to this sort of person and that's not me, or I've got these particular challenges, it probably won't work for me. However, if you have absolutely nailed who it is you're talking to, you can show them very, very clearly that it is them that you are set up to help. Your solution is going to work for them. It's going to be able to deal with the barriers they face. For example, oh, I'm a busy person, I don't have time to fit in this, that, the other. You'll have found a way around that and how to work it in. And for you, not only does that mean more clients, it means more perfect clients, more people that are the right fit for your thing and the way you work and everything like that. But it also makes it just so much easier and more efficient to run your business, because you can really focus on the things that you need to focus on. It makes like writing your content a lot quicker. If your offers are selling, it's easier to sell your offers. Then you have to do less marketing, which is always, a massive time saving, because you can sink so much time into that. And yeah, it just makes everything more efficient and more effective.
Such a ripple effect, isn't it, through everything you do? And we spend so much time creating content. And you're right, if you could reduce that, that would just be amazing. That's a big win for everybody. And so tell me, Katie, what does building your business with boundaries mean to you?
Oh, this has been a big thing for me, because, well, like I said, I was the classic, had kids, didn't want to go back to working 9 to 5. My boss didn't like the idea of me working 10 till 2, which I did try, I did ask, because I did love my job before. But so that's why I set up my business, to have time for my family. I did all right with that for a while. But then when I decided, when my youngest started preschool and I had a bit more time to focus on it properly, I got really obsessed with it. Like, I loved it. I loved learning all the stuff about it. And I would be working in the evenings. I'd always have some video on of some training topic or something like that when I was meant to be doing stuff with the kids. And I took it too far the wrong direction. And then one day I was suddenly like, hang on a minute. I did this so that I could have more time with the kids. But they're like asking to play with me and I'm ignoring them because I want to watch this Facebook training on something or other that doesn't even matter to me that much. So for me, setting the boundaries around when I was going to work and things like that, for me, it means I can be a better parent. And that was the main reason that I got into business in the first place. And the other thing is, so yeah, that's like my big thing. But the other thing is that's coming is that I really, really love like my running and my fitness and things. And I love running long distance events. And that takes a lot of time for training. And because I've built my business in such a way where I can fit it into the hours that I want to work, I've been able to make some time for myself to go out for runs during the week, or, you know, at the weekend, if I want to do a long run, I can, because I'm not having to work at the weekend, which before it was like, well, are you going to run or are you going to work? I better work, you know, I feel guilty not doing it. So putting those boundaries in place has not only made me a better parent, it's made me, I suppose, a better person, because I can take time for myself, which helps with my whole headspace and, you know, sort of energy and everything.
Oh my goodness, I love this. So you're not sacrificing anything. That's what I'm hearing. You know, you're being the mom that you want to be, and you're spending the time with your kids, but you're also giving yourself time, and it is like almost like a gift of time that we give ourselves when we pull things back or allow for different things to have an allocated time, because, you know, otherwise you just wouldn't prioritize those things and you wouldn't be able to do them because you get busy.
That's absolutely it. And I struggled with this for so long, and I've stretched myself so thin, and, you know, I've made myself, it's a bit dramatic to say I've made myself ill from it. I mean, like, I was catching recurring like colds and things like that because I wasn't looking after myself. But to come through that and be in the place where I am now, it just feels amazing. And there are, of course, still times where I think, oh, you know, I should be spending a bit more time on the business. I've got something coming up and things like that. I feel now more in a position to make that choice. So if I say, okay, I've got something coming up, so this week I'm going to not do as much exercise, for example, so that I can focus on getting this thing done in the business and make sure I don't have to then take time away from my children. You know, I feel like I'm making a empowered choice rather than just having it happen to me and just be like, oh, I don't know what, I'm feeling guilty about everything.
Oh my goodness, it's not forced on you. That's amazing. Love that. So what tips can you share with the listeners, and 3 things that have helped you to build your business with boundaries?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to, because like I say, it's something that I've struggled with a long time. The first one is what we already talked about, which was getting really, really clear on what I'm offering and who I'm offering it to, so I can make sure that the time I'm spending on my marketing and on my business is focused in the right places. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be perfect on this. It's still something that, like, I still get distracted by shiny objects and things like that sometimes, which I'm really working on. But that is a really key thing to making sure that the business will fit into the hours that I've set for it. The second one, which was actually a really big one, and it was the game changer for me, was not waiting until I'm earning X amount or doing this, that, the other, to put those boundaries in place. Because I always thought, oh, it will only be, you know, I'm only doing this short term. It's only until I do this. It's only until I do this. But then you can always push that back into the distance. And I can't remember who it was. It was a coach that I was following at the time, said, you need to do this now. And I thought, well, what if I just did? What if I try that? And suddenly I got a lot more efficient in my work, because I knew exactly how many hours I had to do it in. So I knew that if I faffed around on Facebook all day, I didn't have the option of catching up in the evening, because I'd set that boundary in place that I wasn't going to. So not waiting to put the boundaries in place, but doing it now, made me a lot more efficient in the working hours that I did have. And I found that actually, if anything, I was getting more done, not less. And the third thing, which is related to that, is letting go of the need to do everything all at once. I'm like an excitable puppy sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I've got to have this in place, I've got to have that in place, I've got to do this, that, the other, and I want to do this and I want to do that, and I try and like do everything. And just stepping back and saying, no, you know, one thing at a time, set a deadline for it, put catch up weeks in case you don't meet the deadline, and letting go of that need to like have everything in place already and building things up slowly, like pacing myself, I guess, has really helped with that as well.
That's so helpful. I have to say, tip number 2 just struck a real chord there, because I had a very similar experience. And I'd been thinking, you know, one day, once I am doing this, I had reduced my working hours already, but I was like, I'm going to give myself Fridays off. And it wasn't until my coach said to me, well, why are you waiting? What are you waiting for? Like, do it now. You can just do that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so I can.
It's your choice.
Since I've done it, like, it has been like amazing. It's just been so good to just have a day where, and sometimes I'll, I'm a bit like you as well, Katie. I get quite excited at doing all these multiple things, but I have to take my time, like plan it out and prioritize it. Otherwise, you just get carried away and you put so much pressure on yourself. You're right. And then you feel like you haven't done this and you haven't done, so it turns into this negative cycle. So I love how you've described that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I know it's going to be really helpful because there's so many people out there who, we all have similar experiences, just they're in different businesses and kind of slightly different, but very similar at the same time. So thank you for sharing all the tips. How can people connect with you and find out more about you? And I'm sure you've got some free resource that you want to share as well. So please do tell us about that.
Yep. So the best place to connect with me, the place I hang out with most often online, is in my Facebook group. It's called How to Be an Ideal Client Magnet. And it's full of businesses who are looking to do marketing a different way. So looking to connect with ideal clients and really understand them and serve them and use that as their sort of marketing focus rather than trying to just get it all through hype and FOMO. Woo, look at me, look at me. So yeah, we look at understanding ideal clients. We have training tips. I ask questions that you can then steal and ask your own audience, monthly competitions and things like that. It's a fun place to be. So do come and join me there. And I'd love to share a resource that I've put together called These Posts Will Attract Ideal Clients. And it's essentially 3 post, I'll call them templates. That's quite a loose use of the word. Okay. But it's 3 post structures which you can put out that will, like we were saying about being more focused, really designed to appeal to your ideal client, catch their attention and help them, and then give them something they can do to take action. And they're sort of designed in such a way that they'll stand out to the right people. So I'll share the link to that for you to have if you want it.
Yes, absolutely. I'll pop it down just below this in the description and on YouTube as well. So yeah, please do go check out Katie's Facebook group. She's got an amazing group and it is fun and it's a great place to ask questions as well, isn't it? Because you really promote that, we need to be doing more research. So if you want to do more research, that's certainly something that some place that you want to go join and ask the questions. So last but not least, thank you so much, Katie, for being here. It's been great having you on, and I know people are going to find this so helpful. So thanks for sharing your wisdom.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been lots of fun.